right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies inspired it. And it's a new year, which means it's time for a new month of trailers. And as always, we've got Jason Harris from Awesome Movie Year joining me to talk about some trailers for our monthly special episode series. So we will be talking about a bunch of movies and kind of giving you guys a look at what is coming up in the month of January. Before we get to that, I want to remind you, as always, to make sure you're subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And, of course, follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. And join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where in this new year, 2023, we're planning a lot of really fun stuff. So make sure you join the group. And speaking of the group, we've gotten a lot of really great listener puzzle pieces lately for some of these December movies. So I'm going to read those to you before we get into the episode. So going back to some of the movies we covered in December, let's start off with Bullet Train, which was an episode I recorded a long, long time ago with Jason from Binge Movies. And our friend Pete Abeyta had actually pre-guessed some puzzle pieces, and some of them he got right. He mentioned Smokin' Aces, The Gentleman, The Nice Guys, F9, Kill Bill, and the show Barry. And I think we brought up Smokin' Aces. I know we brought up a bunch of Quentin Tarantino, so definitely Kill Bill. Did we bring up any of those others? I don't know. I don't remember. But good guesses there. Then the Banshees of Inisherin, Jason Harris actually mentioned Waking Ned Devine, which I've never seen and I need to watch. But sounds like a really good addition to the list of puzzle pieces we did talk about on the episode. For Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Josie DiMarco mentioned The Velveteen Rabbit and The Little Prince, which are both stories, and then also the film Bicentennial Man and the film Grave of the Fireflies. I've never seen that, but I did see Bicentennial Man back when it came out, and I definitely could see that one as a puzzle piece for sure. Then going to Avatar The Way of Water, the long-awaited Avatar sequel, also from Josie DiMarco. We got The River Wild, which is a great suggestion with the whole family adventure kind of thing, and also on the water. So you got a lot of parallels there to draw. So great suggestion there. And then last up, for Bones and All, Chad Clinton Freeman gave us the suggestions American Honey, Easy Rider, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, May, and Dexter. Chad always sends in a lot of puzzle pieces, so a lot of good ones there. I did think of American Honey when making my list. And Easy Rider I've never seen. I probably will watch it this year, though. It's been on my list for a while. So great ones there. So as always, if you're listening to our Piecing It Together, our main episodes where we talk about a movie through the lens of what other movies might have inspired it, and you have some puzzle pieces that you think we should have mentioned that we didn't bring up, please send them in and I will read them on the next trailer episode. And with that, let's talk about some January movies. Jason Harris is back with us to talk about some trailers, and it's a whole new year. Jason, how you doing?
I'm fine, Dave, although I don't think the movies, I think we're back to getting into the doldrums very quickly after a hot couple of holiday months. This was a rough one.
Oh, I don't fully agree with that statement, Jason. I mean, we'll get to it as we're getting through the movies we're going to discuss, but I don't know. I'm very excited for 2023 movies. I think there's a lot to look forward to.
I didn't say that I'm not excited for 2023 movies. I'm saying this month,
okay,
January, is full of garbage, hot, steaming garbage from these trailers.
Well, we will see. Before we get to January, let's do as we always and take a quick look back at December and see which of these movies that we talked about in our last trailer episode that we actually got around to. First up was Violent Night, which I didn't get around to, and I keep wanting to. And did you get to see it?
No, I think once it hits streaming, I will see it. I was gonna go. I was actually saw something else in the theater, and I was gonna double play it, but it's like 2 hours and 7 minutes, and I'm like, again, why are we doing this? But I'm glad it seemed to do all right, and maybe it's a fun movie. I will watch it at some point. Maybe I'll wait until
Next
Christmas
Christmas.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the move.
That does seem like a good plan. Next up was Four Samosas, which after I made a whole thing of wanting to watch it because my friend was in it, I didn't get around to it. But I'm still hoping to watch it sometime soon. The end of the year.
Good friend.
The end of the year is such a rush. There's just too many things to do and too many things to watch. And
so why would you prioritize your friend?
I know. I'm a terrible person. Emancipation was up next, which I also did not watch, the new Will Smith movie. Did you watch it?
Nope, and neither did anybody else.
That is absolutely right.
Wait, remember we talked about this? You said, well, what's the big deal? Will Smith's back. Everybody loves him. And I said, nope, none of that's true.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, how'd that ass taste?
Was that a direct quote? Is that what I said? Yeah, okay. Poor Will Smith. The Whale was up next, which I did see. I did like, and it's still a big awards contender, even if the general public, I think, was a little more mixed on it than people were anticipating.
I saw it. I liked it. He's amazing in it. And so is Hong Chow, right?
Sure.
Is that how I pronounce it? Hong Chow?
I believe so. If you're saying it wrong, I am too.
She basically stole the year from, she's great in everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's great in it. It is an incredibly depressing film.
Yeah.
It's relentless, as Aronofsky often does. It's good, though. Good movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up was Something from Tiffany's, which I didn't hear anything about, so I assume it came out, but I don't know much more about it.
Well, you didn't hear, but that's you should have heard, because that along with Spirited seemed to be the two breakaway hits of the streaming Christmas season. I didn't see this one, but I did read that it was a big hit.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad when movies do well. The next one, again, something that I didn't hear anything about after we did our trailer episode, but Buzz Cut was, I don't even remember what this one was.
No, remember that was the one I picked, the New Zealand splatter movie.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's not, you probably, who knows if that even hit the States yet.
Yeah, for sure. Then there was a little movie called Avatar: The Way of Water, which was the next one we talked about, which is making a few bucks.
Yeah, it's doing well. I acquiesced to my daughter's mom. She wanted to take her, so I said, go for it. Try to build those points up that I could use in the future somewhere, So I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll take Scarlett at some point in time.
Well, it's Avatar. We did do an episode on it. If you like Avatar, the first one, you'll probably like this. If you didn't, you probably won't like this, but
Yeah, Scarlett liked it.
Yeah.
So you have the approval of my daughter.
Perfect. Next up is The Apology, which I thought looked good, but I have not seen. Did you watch that?
What is that, Dave?
This was the Anna Gunn, the AMC Plus.
Oh, yeah. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Nah.
I agree. Bardo is up next, which at the time we recorded, I think I had mentioned I had already seen. It's a mess. But he's always interesting, though, even the ones that aren't good.
I mean, nobody likes this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like 3 people who like this movie. I didn't watch it because, it's just like you said, it's December. We're trying to watch as much as we can before the end of the year. And this was like a 3-hour space eater, and it's like I'd rather spend my time doing other things. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
But a good episode on the big picture about it. And they really do not like Inarritu at all.
It's crazy to me that critics don't seem to like him, and that is part of what the movie is. But I don't know, I've always liked him, so I just didn't like this one. But next is I Want to Dance with Somebody, which I have not seen yet, but I'm probably going to see tomorrow at the time of this recording. It's not supposed to be very good, but my mom wants to go see it.
Yeah, well, that's nice. So you and your mom can have a good time together.
That's right.
I mean, like I said, I'm just over this as a genre.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like it does absolutely nothing new. So it's exactly what you expect. Next was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which I had told you when we recorded last month that everybody was loving it. And I was halfway through it at the time we recorded and thought it was pretty great up to that point, and I finished it, and it is pretty great, and it's a big surprise, and hopefully it does good box office. I don't know if it's doing that good, but it's really good, though.
I don't know either, but do we give Antonio Banderas enough credit for his range?
It feels like we don't. Yeah.
He's got a lot more range, and he's getting to that age where like maybe we'll get to see him experiment a little more. And I think that could be, like we've had our reconnaissance and the Cage of Enlightenment.
Ooh.
Maybe it's time for some type of Antonio Banderas historical move. Although he's not really coming back. He's always kind of just been there.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. He just doesn't get the respect, but he certainly deserves it. Next up is Babylon, which is either love or hate, but I loved it. It's the most recent episode of Piecing It Together at the time of this recording, and I just think it's fantastic.
I'm excited about that. I do want to see it. You're basically one of two people I know who love it. Again, it's like I'm trying to fill in at the end of the year, and there are all these like great movies that like I could fit two in on the time I'm watching Babylon. Yeah. Not to say I didn't watch like longer movies, but like, last night I watched Tar, which has nothing to do with this, but it's just like you got to pick and choose what you can watch with only so many days left in the year before we drop our top 10s, baby.
That's coming. That is coming. Next up is Women Talking, which actually I put it on the December list. I didn't realize that it doesn't get its full wide release until January, so it is kind of a January movie, but I have seen it. It's very good. Not doing an episode on it, but it's worth watching. Did you see it?
Not yet. I probably will watch it, but I can tell you I have seen comedians say women be shopping.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they be.
And the last one of our December trailers episode was White Noise, the new Noah Baumbach film, which I also really loved. And you watched it, didn't you?
I did. I didn't love it. It's not it might be my least favorite Baumbach movie, but that doesn't mean much because I love most of his movies. Mm-hmm. It's an adaptation. It's not his most personal.
Sure.
There is one sequence that's fantastic and thrilling in there.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of peaks very early in the movie.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely different for him. It's like, it's not something you would kind of put in with the mix of his other films, but for what it is though, I had so much fun with it. So, yeah, let's move on to January and get through some of these movies, starting off with Megan on January 6th in theaters. This is from Akela Cooper, the writer of Malignant. So, of course, I am insanely excited for it. It's about a robot doll that's bought to help comfort a grieving girl. And then, of course, the doll turns evil, and it looks absolutely ridiculous.
Wow, what an original premise.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, we see a doll turn on its owner. How is this a genre? This is not just a movie. This is a full genre now.
It basically is. It basically is. But I mean, I can't say I'm anything less than insanely excited for this movie.
I am definitely not caring about the movie, but that's fine. Look, the puzzle pieces. Just pick them out of a hat. Is it Child's Play? Is it AI? Is it Annabelle? Is it After Yang? It's all those things. I also like that video from the technology conference. If you look on YouTube, where the guy's like the real thing, where he's like introducing the new AI, doll or whatever that they have, and it's like, I am here to help humans. And then he's like, yes, will you help all the humans? And he's like, yes, I will kill all the humans. And it's just like, I mean, at least we're predicting our own demise at the hands of robots.
Did you ever see the thing about the AI that like eventually started like having like Nazi tendencies, like as they continued to feed it information? It's like,
I know the Google ones who created their own language, so they had to shut it down.
Yeah.
The Nazi ones, was it just because they fed it so much stuff from the internet?
Probably.
That was,
yeah.
Nazi Bot 5000.
Yeah, all the things you said. I also threw an Ex Machina on my list because of the dancing. So, robot killer girls dancing. So, so I can't wait for that movie. Let's move on to The Pale Blue Eye, January 6th on Netflix. Harry Melling stars as a young Edgar Allan Poe who helps a detective played by Christian Bale to investigate a series of murders. And this is from Scott Cooper, who is awesome. Did Out of the Furnace and Hostiles, both with Christian Bale. Also Antlers last year. And this also has Toby Jones, Gillian Anderson, Charlotte Gainsborough. I think looks pretty damn good.
Man, you left out. So from his filmography, you left out Crazy Heart.
Yeah, and Crazy Heart. Movie. Yeah, you're right.
And then of the actors in this thing, you left out Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall's in it too.
Yeah.
God.
So might
Yeah.
be his who knows if it's his last movie or not, but it does look really good. I mean, man, it also like actually looks really good. Like the look of it is pretty incredible and everything,
Yep. Yep.
So I'm excited. I'm surprised this didn't pick up any, awards heat consideration or whatnot,
I'm confused if this is considered a 2022 or 2023 release because like it is like a dumping grounds of January release, but it also like felt like it was kind of like already talked
Yeah,
about last year.
and the screener, they, when they give out award screeners, this is one that was there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this does look, I think out of the whole month, this is the one that looked the best to me. I thought of the setting in Cold Mountain, that kind of harsh, difficult terrain. You could put the Revenant there too. And then it's it feels like A Few Good Men from the 1800s. That's what, the suicide in the barracks or whatever, but there's more going on to it. Or like it's A Few Good Men meets like True Detective in the 1800s. That's what I got.
Yeah, I could see a little True Detective in there. I also threw in Sleepy Hollow. I don't know if there's anything supernatural going on here, but the setting kind of reminded me of that Tim Burton film. And also a little too new to actually be a inspiration here, but last year's See How They Run actually had Angela Lansbury show up as a character in a murder mystery. So having Edgar Allan Poe be a character here, I just thought.
And what's that guy from Harry?
He's
whatever.
in I think he's in one of the Harry Potter movies, isn't he, or some of them?
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah. And I know I've seen him in other things too, but that's what I first think of when it comes to that guy. So next up is The Old Way, a new Nicolas Cage film. It'll be on VOD on January 13th. I'm not sure if it's getting any kind of theatrical release, but it's his first Western, which is something that he said many times he's wanted to do for a long time. It looks kind of run of the mill, but he's coming off a solid string of movies here, so hopefully this works out for him.
Dave, come on, man. I mean, like, we've all been enjoying as we said, the Cage of Enlightenment. And he's been waiting to do a Western his whole life, and then this is what he comes up with. Come on. This is run of the mill. It's cookie cutter. This is Unforgiven. This is True Grit. That's all that it is. Oh, she married the baddest man in town and made him a family man. What? She's dead now. And then someone got kidnapped. Uh-oh, he's going back to his old ways and he's going to teach the little girl to shoot. Like, come on.
Yeah, no.
Get it out of here.
You're right. But I want it to be good. I want these movies to be good. I want to be excited about 2023. And I always want to be excited about Nicolas Cage movies.
But we were just excited about so many things he's done that we have to be honest. There's nothing really to be excited about on this
Yeah,
one.
fair enough. Well, yeah, I had True Grit on my list as well. And then just to take it back to a Nicolas Cage project, I thought of Mandy because of the, the whole revenge for a murdered family thing. And he's good when he gets really pissed off, so why not?
I mean, is he going to be pissed in this, or is he just going to be grizzled?
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I lost my hand. You just watched that,
I
right?
did. I watched that over Christmas. It's so good.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so good. So
Moonstruck, if you don't know, kids.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm surprised you're not excited about this one, Jason. It's called Plane, and it's of course Gerard Butler as John Plane is what we're all assuming the character's name is. It's just a straight up by the numbers action flick with a ridiculous title, and who knows if it's going to be any good. It'll be in theaters on January 13th. What do you think about this?
I mean, they've really done it, right? This is the producers of Greenland and whatever else. Is it the Blank Has Fallen movies? I don't know.
Yep.
So he's really kind of locked in with these guys. So what happens is a plane crashes, and that's just the beginning, because now they're on an island where like even U.S. forces don't go there anymore, right? And so they're trapped on this island, and they have to fight their way out from whatever natives are, whatever people who aren't white are the bad guys in this thing, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
But on this plane, I mean, at one point they say like, we have to get off the island. And it's like, okay, cool. That's a nice Lost promo, right?
Sure.
And there's a convict on there. So you have the Con Air aspect. And We're working together. Give me a little yellow jackets.
Oh,
Give me a little Captain Phillips because he's the captain trying to get out. John
okay.
Plain, as you said.
Yep.
And also, I put the Five Bloods in there because I like the Five Bloods. So,
Five
yes,
Bloods is
Dave,
good.
not excited for this at all.
Five Bloods was good. But yeah, I don't know how you could not be excited. It looks ridiculous. And I know you like straight to video action movies. Like it's at least playing in that, that ballpark. But yeah, I mean, I had Con Air on my list, of course, and the Has Fallen series. And I was also thinking about Captain Phillips. So, kind of on the same page here, but it's so obvious. Of course, we're going to be on the same page. So, next up is A Man Called Otto. Speaking of Captain Phillips, we've got Tom Hanks here in this remake of a 2015 Swedish film, I believe it is, about an old grumpy guy who gets a new lease on life because of the new family that moves in next door. It's from Mark Forster. I don't know. It looks okay.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's a book. It's a novel first. I'm sure there was a film, but I know the book was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, a few things about this. Has Tom Hanks have any of his streaming movies kind of broken through?
I don't think so. Maybe a little bit that first Apple TV War one, Greyhound, just because it was their first movie, but it's not like it did well or anything. Like it's just people were like, "Oh, Apple TV has a movie now. Let's check that out."
Yeah, and Tom Hanks, like we know he's as good as an actor as there is out there, but grumpy Tom Hanks, it'll be interesting to see. Like, is this something people want to see? Is he just too sweet? In the end because he's Tom Hanks. How it all fits together. I mean, plot wise, like I get it. Reading it as like a nice warm book while you're taking your bath.
Yeah.
Got your candles out, your bath bombs in, maybe some rose petals, some Enya playing in the background.
Do you have a favorite bath bomb like scent?
That's a good question. What do you like?
Oh, I just whatever Gina wants. That's what we go with.
Yeah. Is cookie dough a bath scent?
That seems right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. So, dude, it's Tom Hanks as Jack Nicholson and as good as it gets. It's up, I'm an old cranky man. Does any of this old cranky neighbor get off my lawn? Oh, a little kid warmed my heart.
Yeah, in that same
That's me
vein,
barfing.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, in that same vein, I had Gran Torino on my list. Grumpy old guy, the family next door. Also, Driveway is a movie that I know you love, Brian Dennehy. So, yeah,
I do love that movie.
Yeah.
Also with Hong Chow, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Guys, she's good. Next up, House Party, January 13th in theaters. Okay, so here's the thing about House Party, regardless of what you think about it, okay? Of course, it's hard to get excited for these kinds of remakes and reboots or whatever it is, but every time this trailer plays in the theater, the whole theater cracks up laughing. I think there's a small chance this could be like a sleeper hit.
I mean, look, we all have love for the original House Party, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you're right. It doesn't look great, although I hope they just go balls to the wall with it. Like there's a line in there where he's like, you're supposed to be in church, and he's like, you're yelling at me on a Sunday or something. What would Jesus say about that? And she goes, Jesus would tell you to shut the fuck up. And it's like, I hope it's all like just that insane. But yeah, these promoters / house cleaners end up cleaning LeBron James's house and throwing a party there, which, whatever. So look, it doesn't look good, but whatever. I hope it is good. I hope I'm wrong. How about that?
There you go.
Like I said, Reginald Hudlin, original writer director of House Party, like huge, I want to say influence on one of my scripts that I have. That's a party movie, and I like it. So
right on.
I just put Project X in The Hangover. It was not really anything here that I wanted it to.
Yeah, no, good enough. I mean, I put Project X. I also put every Judd Apatow movie with a party scene and lots of improv.
Right. I did think about that too.
Yeah, so you got that. You know what? One quick thing before we move on. This director who's making this, Cal Maddock is his name. It's his feature debut, I'm pretty sure. His next movie, a remake of White Men Can't Jump.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough to do.
I know. So, I'll be interested to see how that works out. But Next up is Alice Darling, which will be in theaters January 20th and stars Anna Kendrick. And it's a drama, which she doesn't really do a lot of, about a girl with like an insanely overbearing boyfriend.
Yeah.
And looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like a good story worth telling about, emotional abuse, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, it does look good. I mean, you're right. She doesn't express that dramatic flair as much as we might want her to, because we know she's great. She can
Mm-hmm.
do these things. Like, we both probably Up in the Air was probably where she came to my attention, right?
Sure,
So
sure.
like, and it looks like these three girlfriends go on a getaway for the weekend, and they end up cleaning LeBron James's house. And oh wait, that's not it. Right over your head, Dave. Anyway, and then the creepy boyfriend's like, "Where are you, Alice, darling? Oh, who's my fuzzy wuzzy? Who's my little baby? Who's a googie googie baba?" Right, and just kind of just seems to be like all up in their business. So
You doing that impression right now, I have to find this for if I end up covering this movie. I have to find this Lifetime movie we watched where it was like a kind of similar thing with an overbearing boyfriend and he had this ridiculous British accent. So
yeah.
that'll be a piece for sure.
Hey, I'm working on getting cast in one. Who's my little Pop Tart? Who's a little jelly donut? It definitely has that Invisible Man feel of like you can't let the woman go. And then from this year, I put talking about a man who couldn't let a woman go. How about Resurrection, the Tim Roth, Rebecca Hall movie from this year?
Yeah.
And then lastly, this idea of like idealizing a partner, a loved one, a relationship, 1 hour photo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I hadn't thought about that. I did have The Invisible Man on my list because we were just kind of like dealing with those kind of themes just a couple years ago with that one. And the other one I put was Fear, the Mark Wahlberg as an abusive boyfriend. So thought that would be a possibility too for this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. Next up, January 20th in theaters is Missing, which is another follow-up to Searching, which was one of 2018's best movies. We've talked about a couple of other movies that do the whole screen life thing since then. And I was under the impression this one was supposed to be like more of a direct follow-up, but then watching the trailer, I was like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually its own separate story.
It feels like it. I don't know how any of those characters would relate. You can't just be like, hey, there's an Asian guy in both of them, right? That's not cool.
No.
So I know, this woman, an African American woman, goes on vacation with her boyfriend in Colombia, and then ends up missing there.
There you
like
go.
The title says.
Yeah.
And her daughter is wherever she is in the US trying to track her down. And, obviously, we don't have jurisdiction there. So they have to do all these crazy things. But at one point, they're like, did your mom ever go by another name? Or, did the other guy go by another name? And that felt like the other Screen Life movie, the Profile,
Right.
where it was like, yeah, I want you to come over and I love you. And then it's like, we find out that he's just going to sex slave sell him and everything like that. Spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, look, we see a lot of these, like the missing person and tracking down. So like, I was like, and I want to ask you, like, what's the best one recently? Like I put Gone Girl. That's awesome, that movie. So is there any that kind of get to that level of excellence?
Yeah, it's difficult because I feel like this isn't exactly an answer to your question, but like my other piece that I was thinking of is like all of these kind of crazy true crime based stories where they, adapt these, podcasts and real life stories into shows and movies. And like, that's what I kept thinking of rather than any movies other than the other Screen Life movies. And so,
Yeah.
I was thinking about all those, like, the HBO prestige dramas and stuff like that. The one with Hugh Grant and all the ones with Nicole Kidman and all
Big
that
Little
stuff.
Lies is great.
Yeah.
I know the other one you're talking about with Hugh Grant. And you're right, like Searching was awesome. Profile was interesting. How long can we live on this similar plane without having to adapt to something else?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they're just going to keep doing it. So, but I mean, the Screen Life subgenre is interesting enough, and they're not doing that many of them where it's going to get too old too quick. But I mean, They do need to make sure the story is
Yeah.
tight.
Well, I mean, it's all through Timor, right? Like,
Yeah.
and he's figured it out. But I think even, you know, he knows he was ahead. So I think he knows he still has to stay ahead or something.
Yeah. That makes sense. So next up, You People, which will be on Netflix January 27th. It's stars Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, and it's basically Jonah Hill wants to marry Eddie Murphy's daughter, and it's directed by one of the creators of Blackish and written by him and Jonah Hill. And I don't know, when this came out, everybody was like, "Hell no, this looks awful." And I actually just didn't bother watching the trailer until we were just preparing for this. And I don't know, it looks dumb, but it looks okay.
The trailer is just a scene, which I found interesting. That they just put like a scene out. However, it's like it's 2023 we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
White guy marrying black girl, like or reverse. Like, is this like, you know, is this where we need to be with it at this point? Is this like, I like how like I guess Eddie Murphy's like just taking the bottom out of this character and like, you know, really blunt, and that's kind of fun. And we know Jonah Hill's great at comedy, but like, is this really what we want from them? I don't know. We'll see. It didn't really do much for me, but I will watch it on Netflix. So,
yeah,
you know, but it's everything. It's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It's Meet the Parents,
mm-hmm.
and it's all that stuff. So, bye.
Thank you for being here, Jason. Meet the Parents is on my list, of course, as well. The other thing, a movie that I know you love, Malcolm and Marie, is on my list, because if this whole movie takes place in the diner in this one scene, that's kind of the vibe I was getting. I didn't know, is this just showing a scene, or is the whole thing like a COVID, like one scene, one location kind of thing? That I'm not sure. That's kind of what I was thinking from the trailer.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, here's the best hope, that they wrote something and were like, hey, Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, you guys can just improvise the whole movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Eddie Murphy is he's hilarious. So, I mean, and he really shows that off in the trailer. I feel like even though people don't like the concept of the movie, I think he's funny in the trailer. So, you know, hopefully it works, you know.
I mean, it's just even the jokes were lame. Like we're going over performance over jokes on this one here.
By the way, this director making a remake of The Wizard of Oz.
Who is it?
Kenya Barris.
Yeah, doing a lot of things.
Crazy.
Big name out there. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Our last one for the month is Shotgun Wedding, which will be on Prime January 27th and stars Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel in an action rom-com about a couple who take their family on a destination wedding, and then the wedding party is taken hostage. And it's funny, last year we were talking about like how like J-Lo is making these movies that we don't make anymore. And now they just keep coming. Like the floodgates have opened, and now we're just getting these like bad looking rom-coms.
Dave, going into 2023, I think we even had the precursors in 2022. You know, we talked about it with like Falling Into Christmas or whatever. Like at least once a month. This month, this gets the I Want to Punch You in the Dick award, Dave. So we'll see if you can keep it up for once a month.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing, man. J-Lo, I mean, like, and the whole first part of this preview is like her in her underwear and a t-shirt just showing off how good she looks. She is incredibly fit, like amazing looking, incredible. Bravo. Physical beauty to the max. We know she's charismatic. This movie looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Duhamel, who I liked this season on The Mighty Ducks, playing the husband, you know, wasn't this supposed to be Armie Hammer?
Right. I think
and then he replaced him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, Dave, wouldn't have this been much more interesting if they had kept Armie Hammer in and built this character around the accusations? So now it's a shotgun wedding on a private island, and it turns out Armie Hammer wants to eat his wife and possibly some of the wedding guests.
Yeah.
Like, how amazing would that be?
Bridesmaids just start showing up missing. And
yeah, it would be much more interesting. But yeah, this is Snatch, the Amy Schumer, Goldie Hawn movie. This is last year, the big hit, right? Was it The Lost City,
Yep.
right? Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
I mean, this is this, that, but at the end, like even in the, and I put Monster-in-Law to reference another J-Lo movie with the wedding plans gone wrong there.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of this preview, they're all singing, what is it? I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be whoever is that, you know, shitty song. So who sings that, Dave?
I don't know. Well, I have no idea.
I'm going to look it up while we talk.
Yes, look it up and find out. By the way, I had the exact same puzzle pieces as you. So it's, you know, it is what it is. Although The Lost City was fun. So.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I'm glad people liked it. It looked like it was all right. It's Edward McCain, and like the whole group is singing it. So, you know, it's like the wedding's not going to happen, and then we all come together, and now we're all singing, and it's like punch you so hard, right square in the dong, dude.
Right in the dick.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm still pretty excited for January, even though you didn't like a lot of this.
Pale Blue Eye. Yeah. Is the only one that looks good, that actually looks good. And Alice Darling and everything. Like, there's a few that are like, okay, maybe. So
Megan's gonna
maybe
be
one
awesome.
or two.
Just wait and see. Megan's gonna be awesome, and maybe Plane. We'll see. House Party could be good.
See, now
Alice Darling might be all right.
I said Alice Darling.
Oh, you did say Alice Darling. Okay, all right. So. Anyway, yeah, that's our movies for January. I don't know. What do you think? Are you happy? You excited about the month?
No, not at all.
No.
But, you know, I've been watching so many movies to finish off 2022. Like, I've neglected all my TV watching.
Oh.
And seeing what's coming out in January, it looks like I can get back to TV.
There you go. That's a good thing. Jason, is there a movie you watched? You've been watching all these movies. Is there one you watched recently you want to shout out?
Yes, Dave. I think I will shout out Marcel the Shell with shoes on, which I can't pronounce, sadly. Marcel the Shell with shoes on. There you go.
There you go.
Have you watched it?
I haven't. No.
Man, it is great.
Yeah.
It is so good. Jenny Slate, just over the moon with Jenny Slate. She's fantastic. This thing looks great. It's funny. It's sweet. It feels like it works in places it maybe shouldn't work. Scarlett and I both watched it. We both loved it. And this is how much I loved it, Dave. Like, usually you watch a movie and you're like, okay, I'd revisit that down the line. Like, I might watch this again soon. That's how good it was.
Wow. Well, I definitely want to finally catch up with it. I have a feeling it's going to be on both of your top 10 lists.
I have a feeling it will be. Yeah.
So maybe I'll get to it before we record this weekend. But yeah, awesome. Tell people what's going on with your comedy and awesome movie year and everything else you got going on.
All right. Awesome movie year. We're wrapping up the punch in the dick of seasons to me, 1953, which has been underwhelming as far as the movies, as far as my enjoyment, but overwhelming as far as good episodes because we disagree on basically everything, I think, which is a lot of fun. So we're going to reveal our next season soon, which I think people will be really excited about. And but I hope they're enjoying 1953. As you know, you can find me on all the socials, Jason Harris Comedy, Eat This Comedy, and the Trivia Party. Come see a show. Come do a thing. Give me money for my movie. So far, no one that has listened to these episodes has even tried to give me money for my movie, Dave. So
I haven't tried to give you money for your movie either. So, you know, and I'm listening all the time. Jason, as always, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see. Maybe we'll get you on one of the regular episodes again very soon.
Whatever.
No, you're supposed to say, I will be back next week for the menu, which we already recorded.
Oh, okay. Wait. Well, Dave, it's funny you say that because I'll be back next week for the menu, which we already recorded.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm Josh Bell.
And I'm Jason Harris, and we co-host a podcast called Awesome Movie Year.
Each season, we take a look back at an awesome year for movies, which is every year.
We deep dive into these specific years, and we pick out why they were such great years for films. We go over the biggest hits, the biggest flops, the best picture, some personal picks, some cult classics.
Years we've covered in past seasons include 1994, 2003, 1977, and 1984, and we've got all of film history to look forward to. So check us out at awesomemovieyear.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jason Harris about some of the movies coming in January. As always, make sure you're subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever it is you're listening, so that way you can get all of the new episodes as they come out. We've, of course, got The Menu, which we just mentioned, coming soon. We also have Black Adam coming soon. And our top 10s of the year. We got a top 10 films of the year, top 10 first watches of the year, and top 10 scores of the year. All that coming. Also, a couple other special episodes. And then it's time to start covering some 2023 movies. Can't wait for Megan. And there's lots coming your way. So make sure you are subscribed. You could also follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. Join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show, and where we have some exciting stuff planned for 2023. And don't forget, we have a Patreon, the Produced by David Rosen Patreon, where I post bonus and advanced content from Piecing It Together, from Awesome Movie Year, and from my music career. And speaking of my music career, I just released my new album, More Content. I've been talking about it for the last few months. It is out now. Got a few music videos on the way to promote the album, and a lot more music is coming your way. So check out More Content wherever you listen to music. There is a limited edition CD available right now on my Bandcamp, but you could also stream it, Spotify, Apple Music, all those places. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to close the episode with a song from More Content. It's called Horizon Lines. So enjoy this track, and we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.